So the print farm is on its way to actually becoming a print farm because, to paraphrase Sid from the great film Toy Story,
It came! It finally came! The
A1. That's right, I finally pulled the trigger and bought the Bambu Lab A1. So in my last episode of the I'm Starting a Print Farm series, what I said is that I was planning on taking some time to work in Fusion, generate some models, and then try and sell my models on websites like Etsy or Cults 3D in order to try and generate enough money to purchase the P1S. Now, based on a couple of your comments here and here on that previous video, I decided to follow that advice. So in that previous video as well, I discussed about how I had two different schools of thought. One was to generate that money based off of just selling my print files on those websites, taking some time again, going Fusion crazy and trying to generate that money that way. But I also had the same school of thought about buying a small printer, a cheap printer, in order to try and generate models or generate actual prints of my models in order to take really good pictures so that I could potentially sell those files better. So I kind of just went for it and I bought the A1. I thought it was at a great price point. I think it was at like maybe $299. So $299 for the printer, and then I did like the bulk mystery filament or whatever. I got 4 rolls, 2 reusable rolls and 2 refills. And I thought that was a pretty solid deal. So all in all, it came out to somewhere around like $395, I believe. So I'm going to do a little thing where I kind of show you how much I've spent on the print farm so far, and then talk about kind of the path to profitability, so to speak. And I think that'll be kind of a cool addition to this series. So I know there's a lot of A1 unboxing videos on YouTube, but I wanted to put a little bit of my own stuff in there. I was absolutely stoked to get my hands on this printer. My wife was equally as excited for me because she knew how excited I was to get this printer, and she sent me this video while I was at practice when she came back and saw that the box was outside. So I was absolutely stoked to get back in and get the printer up and running. So I did some unboxing, I cut some stuff up. The instruction sheet was really, really helpful. So it labeled all the screws you needed to remove and add. It was very simple to get set up and running. And then, of course, I printed out the stereotypical Benchy. And let me tell you, I was waiting for some reason I had it in my head that I needed to capture the first layer that my own personal printer has ever printed. So I was just sitting watching that thing going through its entire calibration process and just hoping I could capture that. I finally did. I know you want to see it, so here it is on the screen. It was a pretty cool moment for me. Again, I know it's kind of lame to purchase a $300 printer and be super excited about it, but I was just thrilled to have something that I could start working towards that goal with. So my wife got in on the action as well. Hopefully this will make it much easier to justify printer purchases, filament purchases, all of those things further down the line. That's at least what I'm telling myself as of right now. Definitely helps quite a bit. So now that I finally have a printer, what's the plan? So in order to kind of start getting the farm up and running, I'm just going to start making some models actually this time. I promise I'm going to actually do that. But I just kind of need to get started on putting some things up, getting some things printed. Again, I talked about this a little bit last time. Let me see if I have it floating around here somewhere. I have my Lord of the Rings kind of pencil cup here. This is one that didn't go out so well. But something like this I think would be a really neat design for whether it's the vases. I know there's 300,000 of those out there. But something like this is a functional print for like teachers or something. I also thought about doing like this style but having like the teacher's name kind of around the front. The AMS I think would be nice for this, but in the meantime I think I could probably make something pretty cool with that. So I just think I need to start getting some stuff on Etsy, up on some websites, and try and generate some sales. I think making my own models is certainly the way to go. So I also think I need to kind of set a goal of making maybe one model a week. It's kind of a busy time. Winter kind of gets super packed for me and my family. But just trying to set a goal of one print or one model per week that I can upload, get feedback on, etc., get on the printer, make sure things are good to go, I think is 100% the move forward. So if you're still watching at this point in the video, I just want to thank you for doing so. It's been really great seeing everybody kind of hop on board the series, and I'm excited to keep putting out content and keep seeing what I can do with the farm. If you're interested in following along with that, I would love it if you subscribed and liked the video. It really helps out to grow the channel. Just appreciated you all are here, and thanks so much for stopping by. So let's get back to it. So another thing that I'm planning on doing is kind of remaking the space behind me here. So right now it's a little bit crowded, to say the least. So I think what I'm going to do, and my wife has said that she doesn't really use this desk behind me here. So instead of the area downstairs, I'm a little bit worried about the moisture content down there, the humidity, the dampness, right? So I think I'm going to put my printer actually up behind me. I think that would be really nice for kind of a good backdrop, and also it'd be really easy for me to just, turn around, show prints on the video, etc. So it came out, I think it's going to come out pretty well. She's going to start moving her stuff out of here in a second, and I think that'll be a much better backdrop besides boxes and all this kind of stuff over here. So another thing I kind of need to discuss and kind of think about is the branding. I'm not 100% sure what the branding should look like, whether it should be based off of the YouTube channel. I know at one point my wife and I had a TikTok channel. So we remodeled an apartment building that we bought, and we were living in it while we were redoing it. So we made a TikTok channel of that, and we kind of had an Etsy shop set up there. So I don't know if I take the stuff over to that Etsy shop, how exactly that works. I'm not sure what branding looks like. I don't know if branding matters that much. Based on some just very rudimentary research, it seems as though it's very much keyword and search engine optimization focused rather than branding. So maybe that would be more so the focus, is really solid pictures, maybe a video of the product, and just kind of throwing a bunch of stuff up there and seeing what sticks. Now, part of the reason that I decided to go for the A1 instead of the P1S, well, the P1S is the ultimate goal, just because I think I don't need an X1 carbon. Like, that was the initial goal, is the X1. It's just such a cool printer. I'm a bit of a printer snob, right? I think I mentioned that in the last episode, is I was just kind of very focused on the X1 carbon. So it's like, seems to be the best of the best. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's raving about it. That's the one I need to go for. I really didn't, right? And I think part of what helped me out is the comments that I showed a little earlier. But also, again, I'll mention Technicals Tinkers. He has been really cool to watch all of his videos. I know he just got the Orange Storm Giga in, so I've been enjoying watching him mess with that. But also, he said something about, like, if you are working towards something, right, and you need a product for that, what you do is you buy a cheaper option of that product, and then if things go well, then you upgrade to the more expensive one. And that just rang true to me. I heard that a couple days after seeing the comments of the people suggesting the A1 with the AMS Lite, and then I just purchased it that same day that I heard Technicals say that. Now, I didn't get the AMS. Again, I mentioned that in the last episode. Money's a little bit tighter. Not tight enough that I'm gonna, risk my family's financials with a $390 purchase, right? But the AMS does add a significant cost to it, and some people did say about the waste in the AMS, and just getting the single extrusion printer, again, seeing if things go well. If I start to have interest, then I think that's another purchase I can make, and I can, again, work my way up. I think the P1S would be cool, so that way it's an enclosed piece, and I can control my temperatures a little bit better, and I can also print some different materials further down the line if I wanted to. But again, I didn't need that right off the bat, and I just thought the A1 made complete sense. Also, the price point was really, really solid. Again, like that $395 price just seemed good, and the A1, everybody says, is a great machine. So I just figured it would be a great starter printer. Again, I've had lots of experience with printing, but just that starter printer made just so much sense. So what are my initial thoughts on the A1 itself? So I actually love the A1. I wasn't a big fan of potentially going to the bed slinger model. Again, I've always had Core XY, and I've loved Core XYs at school. So I was a little nervous, but it seems to be super, super solid to start. One of the things, I like pinched my hand because I just wasn't expecting the bed to move. So when I was taking that video, maybe I don't know if I kept it or not, but I'll show it on the screen if I had it. I was like just kind of holding my hand close, and it bumped and kind of caught my hand underneath the bed as it came forward. So that was kind of surprising. Again, I'm just not used to that, but it was neat, and it seems to run really quick. I'm just shocked at the speed. Again, we have Ultimakers at school, and every time that those run anywhere over like 120 millimeters a second, just the print quality and the print adhesion just tanks. But these things are just so, they seem so solid and it's so quick. And I just like, it was wild watching. And again, I watched the entire 20-minute Benchy because I'm a nerd. But it was just cool to see. It was wild to see. I just thought at any point it was going to mess up from how quick it was moving. And the fact that it can go faster than what it was is just mind-blowing. I think it's a great starter print. I'm excited to put some different stuff in it. Again, I'd love to put something like this up here with the honeycomb design and see how that goes. I do think I'm going to slow it down again, mess with some settings. I think, like the technicals was saying, I think it's just important to take some time on the software and work through your settings. I know he's not a fan of messing with the settings, but I am, and I love that stuff. So I think I'm just going to mess with some models, maybe find some on MakerWorld, and just test my settings of my printer and my filament and see what works the best and make the perfect print before I kind of start throwing stuff out there. Again, I might still work some models into that, but I think it just, taking my time a little bit, tinkering with the software, making sure everything looks solid before I send anything out or put anything up, and just be prepared for any sales is good to go. So Benchy Quality. I thought the Benchy Quality was wild. Again, I was shocked at the speed of this coming from Ultimaker. It is a world of difference. The Ultimakers just function better going slow, and the Bambu or the A1 just ripped through the print. Benchy in 20 minutes is absurd. And the entire time I watched it, I was convinced that it was going to break or the print was going to come off of the bed, anything of that. And it seemed really solid. There was a little bit of stringing, but anything at that speed I think is going to happen. It went really nicely. It was peeled right off the bed. I was super impressed. Now, I'm easily impressed. I will give it that. But it was just a phenomenal first print. I've printed a couple other things since then. I printed that bed scraper out that comes with it as well. Printed that little potato bag clip that they had just to kind of get some stuff going. But I'm excited to get to some of my designs here coming up soon. Now, I'll kind of end with this, is that I need to realize that the rose-colored glasses I have right now, because how excited I am to get the printer, is something that kind of needs to change a little bit. I know that it's not going to be, all money all the time, right? So just taking my time. Again, I enjoy this hobby. I love messing with this at my school. I do all kinds of stuff with these printers and with the students and with the printers. So I just need to enjoy the process a little bit and just kind of sit and work hard at it, obviously, but just kind of wait and be patient and continue to make things and take feedback constructively. So see what people are looking at, see what people are interested in, and not spending too much time in areas where it's clear that people just aren't interested in my stuff. So that's it for this part of the update. Again, I'm super excited to finally have a printer to play with and mess around with. The backspace here, I'm excited to get a little bit of modification with, so it's nicer for my videos and easier for me to transition into prints and stuff. And again, I'm just excited to start messing with stuff. So if you're interested in following along the journey of one printer to print farm, and selling prints, I would love it if you subscribed, again, and like the video, and I would really appreciate any comments that you have down below. If you have any suggestions, any feedback, anything with the A1, anything with selling, anything like that, I would love to hear it. So again, very thankful for everybody that hopped in on the last video, and I'm excited to see what we can do with it. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.